Ladies and gentlemen, there are times in life when you feel as though everything you've worked for is slipping through your fingers, when the weight of the world is so heavy that it feels like you can't take another step. The world may seem to be coming at you from all directions, and every road you try to walk down seems to lead you into yet another obstacle, another setback. The pressure builds, and your spirit begins to wear thin. You question your strength, your will, your ability to keep moving forward. It's in these moments, in the deepest valleys of life, when you feel weakest, that the true test of your resilience is revealed. Resilience is not just about bouncing back when you fall. It's not just about getting back up after you've been knocked down. No, resilience is far more than that. It's the inner strength that refuses to give in when everything around you is telling you to quit. It's the quiet determination that rises up within you, the fire that burns in your spirit even when your body feels weary. It's the ability to keep pressing forward when the odds are stacked against you and you feel like you've given everything you've got. You see, there is a certain kind of power that comes from enduring hardship. Resilience isn't built in times of ease, in moments when everything is going right, when the sun is shining and the wind is at your back. No. Resilience is forged in the fire. It's shaped in the struggle, honed in the fight. When life gets hard, when the storm clouds gather, that's when your resilience begins to show itself. It's in those moments when you dig deep, when you tap into something greater than yourself, that you begin to understand the true measure of your strength. Sometimes we think resilience means never feeling fear, never feeling doubt, never feeling pain. But that's not true resilience. True resilience is not the absence of fear. It's the ability to keep going despite it. It's not about ignoring the pain, but choosing to move forward in spite of it. It's about showing up, even when you don't feel like it. It's about refusing to stay down, even when the world tells you it's over. Resilience is the ability to rise time and time again in the face of adversity. Every setback you've faced, every hardship you've endured, every failure you've experienced, none of it has been in vain. Every challenge has been an opportunity for growth. Every painful moment has been a lesson, shaping you into who you are today and preparing you for who you're destined to become. The very things that have tried to destroy you are the things that are strengthening you, making you tougher, making you more determined. And with each challenge, you are becoming more resilient, more unshakable, more unstoppable. In the face of opposition, resilience is what keeps you moving forward. When the odds are against you, resilience is the voice inside that says, keep going. Don't stop now. You've come too far to quit. It's the inner resolve that refuses to let you be defined by your circumstances, that refuses to let you be defeated by your past. It's the spirit that refuses to accept defeat, no matter how many times life knocks you down. Resilience is what allows you to see opportunity in the midst of struggle, to find hope in the midst of despair. You are stronger than you know, more capable than you realize, and more resilient than you can imagine. The only way to truly fail is to give up, to let go of the fight. As long as you keep moving, as long as you keep standing, as long as you refuse to let go of the dream in your heart, you can never truly fail. Failure only comes when you stop fighting, when you stop trying, when you stop believing that your best days are still ahead of you. End of chapter 16. As long as you keep showing up, you will always have a chance to succeed. Resilience isn't about perfection. It's not about always getting it right or always having everything fall into place. It's about the strength to keep going when things aren't perfect. It's about the courage to keep pushing when everything inside of you tells you to quit. It's about understanding that every struggle, every challenge, every moment of pain is an opportunity to grow, to learn, to evolve into the person you were always meant to be. There's something special about those who refuse to be broken. When life tries to push you down, when the weight of the world seems unbearable, there's a quiet power that rises up inside those who are truly resilient. It's the power of perseverance. It's the power of knowing that no matter how hard the journey gets, no matter how many times you fall, you have the strength to get back up again. It's the power of never giving up on yourself, even when the world seems to have given up on you. The path to greatness is not an easy one. It's filled with obstacles, detours, and setbacks. But it's also filled with moments of growth, moments of strength, and moments of triumph. The road may be long, the journey may be difficult, but with every step you take, with every challenge you overcome, you're getting closer to your destination. And as you walk that road, you're becoming stronger, more resilient, more prepared for what lies ahead. There are some who will tell you that resilience is about never showing weakness, about always appearing strong, always having it all together. But let me tell you this, resilience is not about hiding your struggles. It's not about pretending everything is perfect when it's not. True resilience is about embracing your struggles, acknowledging your pain, and still finding the strength to move forward. It's about being honest with yourself and with others, about knowing that it's okay to have moments of weakness, but refusing to stay there. Resilience is about being real, about being raw, and still finding the strength to rise. In the face of adversity, resilience is the light that shines through the darkness. It's the hope that never dies, no matter how much you've been through. It's the determination to keep going when every step feels like a struggle, when every moment feels like a battle. And it's in those moments, when the weight of the world is on your shoulders, that you find out just how strong you really are. When you've been knocked down, when you've been hurt, when you've been broken, there's a part of you that can either give up or rise again. And that rising, that getting back up, is where your strength lies. That's where your resilience is forged. It's in the moments when you have nothing left to give, but you find the courage to keep going. It's in the moments when you're at your lowest, but you refuse to stay down. That's when your power is revealed. That's when you show the world who you truly are. Every single one of us has faced moments where we felt like giving up, where the road ahead seemed impossible, where the pain seemed too much to bear. But it's in those very moments when we choose to press on, when we choose to rise, that we become unstoppable. The storms may come, the winds may blow, but if you are rooted in resilience, you will not be shaken, you will not be moved. You will rise again and again and again. And every time you rise, you become stronger, more unbreakable, more unshakable. When you look back on the path you've walked, you will see that every hardship, every obstacle, every struggle was not a barrier, but a stepping stone. Each one of those challenges made you stronger, made you wiser, made you who you are today. You are not defined by what you've been through, but by the strength you've gained from it. And that strength, that resilience, will carry you through whatever comes next. So I want to remind you today, you are unstoppable, you are unbreakable. The journey is hard, but you are tougher. The battles may be fierce, but you are fiercer. You are resilient, and nothing, no circumstance, no storm, no setback can keep you down for long. Keep rising, keep moving forward, because your destiny is waiting for you. And no matter how many times you fall, you will rise again, stronger, bolder, and more determined than ever. The power of resilience is inside of you, and it will carry you to places you never dreamed possible. There are moments in life when the path ahead seems uncertain, when the promises you've held onto seem distant, when you wonder if the journey is worth it. The waiting, the wondering, the constant pushing forward, even though the destination is not in sight, can be exhausting. You might find yourself asking, why am I here? Why am I waiting? Is this all just in vain? These questions rise up from a place of frustration, from a place of impatience, from a place where your heart aches with the desire to see the result of your hard work, your sacrifices, and your faith. You want to know that all of it is leading somewhere, that there is a purpose behind it all. And yet you can't help but feel lost in the process. It's easy to have faith when things are going well, when you can see the fruits of your labor and the evidence of your growth. It's easy to trust when everything aligns, when you can clearly see where you're going and how you'll get there. But what happens when things don't look so clear? What happens when the road ahead is foggy and you can't see your next step? What happens when the promises you've been holding on to seem so far away and it feels like your efforts are going unnoticed. What do you do when you feel stuck in the process, when the wait seems endless? The answer is simple, but it's not always easy. You have to trust in the process. You have to have faith that even in the waiting, even in the uncertainty, something is happening. You have to believe that every moment, every struggle, every step you take is leading you somewhere. Trusting the process means understanding that the journey is just as important as the destination, that there is purpose even in the waiting, that growth is happening even when you can't see it. When you start a journey, you don't always see the full picture. You don't always know how things will unfold. You don't always know the exact timing of your breakthrough or the full extent of what you're being prepared for. But that doesn't mean the process is pointless. It doesn't mean that everything you're experiencing is in vain. Every step you take is part of a greater plan. And even when you don't understand what's happening in the moment, you can trust that it's leading you to exactly where you need to be. The process is a teacher. It's shaping you. It's molding you into the person you need to become to fulfill your purpose. And sometimes the most important lessons come not in the moments of success, but in the moments of waiting and struggle. Faith in the process requires a deep belief that everything you're going through is for a reason. It's easy to question your journey when things are hard, when it seems like the world is moving forward and you're stuck in the same place. But you have to trust that the timing is not your own. You may not be where you want to be right now, but that doesn't mean you won't get there. You may not see the full picture yet, but that doesn't mean the pieces aren't falling into place. You have to trust that what's happening behind the scenes is just as important as what's happening in front of you. Have you ever planted a seed in the ground? You dig a hole, put the seed in, and cover it with soil. But then you wait. You water it, give it sunlight, and wait some more. You don't see immediate results. The seed doesn't pop up the next day or even the next week. But does that mean the seed is doing nothing? Does that mean the process isn't working? No. Beneath the surface, the seed is growing. Roots are forming, breaking through the earth, establishing themselves before the plant can even begin to rise above the soil. It's not that the seed isn't doing anything. It's that it's working in a way that you can't yet see. The process is hidden from your eyes, but it's there. And soon enough, what was once hidden beneath the surface will begin to emerge. Purpose, that's what your life is like. Your journey is like that seed in the soil. You may not see immediate results, and you may not understand why things aren't happening the way you thought they would. But behind the scenes, there is something powerful at work. Every challenge, every setback, every delay is a part of your growth process. It's all preparing you for something bigger, something greater. You can't rush it. You can't hurry it. The seed can't force itself to grow any faster than it's meant to. And neither can you. You have to trust in the process and believe that the time you're spending in the waiting is not wasted. Faith in the process also means trusting that the lessons you're learning right now are preparing you for the future. Sometimes when we're in the middle of a struggle, we can't see the value of what we're going through. We question why we have to face the things we're facing, why the hardships, why the delays, why the confusion. But the reality is that every lesson, every experience, every bump along the way is teaching you something that you will need for your future. Today, the strength you're developing in this season will be the very strength you need to face what's coming. The wisdom you're gaining, the patience you're learning, the perseverance you're building, it's all part of the process of preparing you for what's ahead. You may not understand it now, but trust me, every single thing you're going through is a piece of the puzzle. And when the time comes, when the breakthrough arrives, you will look back and see how every single moment, every trial, every triumph, every moment of doubt was necessary for you to reach this point. Sometimes faith in the process means letting go of your own expectations and embracing the reality of where you are. You might have an idea of how things are supposed to look or when they're supposed to happen. You might have your own timeline, your own plan. But when things don't go the way you thought they would, when things don't happen on your schedule, it's easy to get frustrated, to feel like something is wrong. But in those moments, you have to surrender to the process and trust that the timing is not yours to control. The best things in life often take time. The best things are often built slowly, piece by piece, moment by moment. The process is not about rushing to the finish line. It's about becoming the person you need to be along the way. And you become the person you need to be along the way. What's meant for you is meant for you, and no one can take it away from you. The things you desire, the dreams in your heart, the promises you've been waiting for, they are all part of your destiny. And while it's easy to get discouraged when things don't seem to be moving forward, you have to understand that the process is refining you, preparing you, and making you ready for what's coming next. You may not see it yet, but the future is being built in every moment of your present. Faith in the process also means trusting that there is a purpose in every season. We often want to skip over the difficult seasons, the seasons of waiting, the seasons of uncertainty. We want to get straight to the success, straight to the achievement, straight to the breakthrough. But the truth is, every season has something to offer. Every season has something to teach you. There's something to learn in the waiting. There's something to learn in the struggle. There's something to learn in the process. And when you embrace the process, when you trust that every season is part of a greater plan, you will find peace in the waiting. Think about the seasons of nature. Each one has a purpose. Winter is a time of rest, a time for renewal beneath the surface, even when it appears that everything is dormant. Spring is a time of growth, a time when the seeds you've planted begin to sprout and take root. Summer is a time of flourishing, a time when everything is in full bloom. And then fall comes, a time of harvest, a time of reaping what you've sown. But none of these seasons can be skipped. You can't rush from winter to spring. You can't bypass the process. Each season is necessary to get you to the next. And in the same way, every season of your life, every moment in the process is necessary for the journey. Without one season, the next would not be possible. It's hard to have faith when you can't see the outcome. It's hard to trust when you don't know what's ahead. But that's where the true strength of your faith lies. Faith isn't about knowing what will happen. It's about trusting that what is happening is leading you to where you need to be. Faith in the process means knowing that everything you are going through is part of the plan, even when you can't see it, even when it doesn't make sense. The process is not always easy, but it is always necessary. And if you trust in the process, if you keep moving forward, if you keep showing up, you will reach your destination. Not only will you reach it, but you will be stronger, wiser, and more prepared for what's ahead than you could have ever imagined. Adversity has a way of showing up in our lives when we least expect it, often leaving us feeling overwhelmed, unsure, and vulnerable. It can strike in 1,000 different ways through the loss of a loved one, a sudden health crisis, financial setbacks, or a personal failure. The weight of it feels crushing, as if the world is pressing down on you, threatening to knock the breath out of you. In order for me to be today the average successful person, I have had to learn that the way that the world treats me is not the way of the world. It's me. In those moments, it's easy to lose hope, to question everything you've worked for, and to wonder why you're going through what you're going through. But here's the powerful truth. Adversity, while painful, is not designed to destroy you. It's designed to empower you. When you face challenges, when you feel like you're up against an insurmountable mountain, there is something greater happening in the unseen. You may not be able to see it in the moment, but adversity is shaping you in ways you could never imagine. It is stretching you, refining you, and preparing you for something far greater than you could have envisioned. Without the pressure, without the challenge, without the adversity, you would never realize the depth of your strength. Adversity isn't the end, it's the beginning of something powerful. Think about the process of refining gold. The gold is put through intense heat, molten and broken down, all of its impurities burned away. It's only through this process that the gold can be purified and take its true form. Without the fire, the gold would never reach its highest potential. And just like gold, you too are being refined by the fires of adversity. You are being purified. Your weaknesses and fears are being burned away, leaving behind the brilliance of your true self. But in order for that brilliance to shine, you have to endure the heat. You have to walk through the fire. It's not easy, but the result is always worth it. Empowerment through adversity means understanding that the challenges you face are not punishments, but opportunities for growth. It's the understanding that every setback, every trial, and every hardship is a stepping stone toward your breakthrough. It's easy to see adversity as an obstacle, something to avoid or escape from. But when you shift your perspective, you start to see adversity as a powerful tool that can elevate you. It's a tool that sharpens your character, strengthens your resolve, and pushes you to become more than you ever thought possible. In the middle of a storm, it's easy to are built to endure. You are built to overcome. And it is only through the process of facing adversity that you discover the power that lies within you. Let me remind you that no one who has achieved greatness has done so without facing adversity. Every great story of success, every great leader, every great innovator has had to battle through difficulties to get to where they are. The difference between those who succeed and those who don't is not the absence of struggle, but the ability to persevere through it. Adversity builds resilience. It builds tenacity. It builds an unshakable belief in your ability to rise no matter how many times you fall. Every failure, every setback is simply a lesson that prepares you for the next stage of your journey. And every time you rise stronger, wiser, and more capable than you were before. And so, the journey to empowerment through adversity requires a mindset shift. Instead of seeing challenges as roadblocks, you must see them as opportunities for growth. It's about shifting from a victim mentality to a victor mentality. When you're in the midst of a struggle, it's easy to feel like life is happening to you. It's easy to think that everything is out of your control, that you're at the mercy of forces beyond your reach. But that is not the truth. You have the power to shape your response to adversity. You can choose how you face the storm. You can choose to let the storm defeat you, or you can choose to rise above it, to use the storm to propel you forward. The power lies in how you respond. When faced with a challenge, you can either shrink back or step up. You can either give in to fear, doubt, and frustration, or you can tap into your inner strength and keep pushing forward. Empowerment comes not from avoiding adversity, but from facing it head on, embracing it, and using it as fuel for your journey. The greatest warriors are not those who have never faced adversity, but those who have faced it and emerged victorious. They've learned to thrive in the storm, to find their strength in the struggle, and to use their experiences to help others do the same. I want you to understand that adversity is not a sign of your weakness, it's a testament to your strength. When life brings challenges, it's not because you're not capable, it's because you're being prepared for something greater. Adversity tests your limits, yes, but it also expands them. It forces you to stretch, to grow, and to push past the boundaries you thought you had. End of chapter 23. Read by Andrew Kahn. Every challenge is a chance for you to discover a deeper level of strength, to tap into resources you didn't know you had, and to rise to a new level of power. But empowerment through adversity also means embracing the lessons that come with it. Adversity has a way of teaching us things we never would have learned otherwise. It teaches patience, resilience, and determination. It teaches us to appreciate the good times because we understand the value of peace after a storm. It teaches us humility and gratitude. It teaches us the importance of persistence, the power of faith, and the strength of character. These are lessons that cannot be learned in the absence of struggle. These lessons shape us, mold us, and prepare us for the next level of greatness. The wisdom gained in times of adversity becomes your armor, your protection against future challenges. And the strength you gain becomes the foundation upon which you can build your dreams. There is power in overcoming, in knowing that you face something difficult and emerge stronger on the other side. It builds confidence in your ability to face future challenges, knowing that if you did it once, you can do it again. Empowerment comes from knowing that no matter what life throws at you, You have the strength to withstand it. No matter how hard the journey may seem, you have the ability to keep moving forward. Every time you rise from a fall, you rise with more confidence, more belief in your own strength, and more conviction in your purpose. The journey of adversity may not be easy, but it is a journey that leads to your empowerment, to your greatness. When you find yourself in the midst of adversity, remember this: the struggle is not the end of the story, it is the beginning of your transformation. It is the birthplace of your empowerment. Adversity does not define you, how you respond to it does. You are stronger than you know, and with each challenge you face, you are becoming the person you were always meant to be. The road may be difficult, the journey may be long, but know this: you were created for this. You were created to overcome. And when you come through on the other side, you will be more powerful, more confident, and more capable than ever before. The empowerment that comes from adversity is not just for you, it's for the world around you. When you overcome, when you rise above the challenges you face, you inspire others to do the same. Your story becomes a testimony of strength, of resilience, and of hope. You become a beacon of light for those who are still in the storm, showing them that if you can rise, they can too. Empowerment through adversity is not just about your personal growth. It's about the impact you have on those around you. As you rise, you lift others with you. As you overcome, you pave the way for others to find their own strength. So when adversity comes, don't shrink back. Don't let it break you. Let it make you. Let it empower you. Let it reveal the strength you didn't know you had. You are not just surviving, you are thriving. You are not just enduring, you are growing. And when the storm passes, you will stand taller, stronger, and more empowered than ever before. Because you are a warrior, and warriors are forged in the fires of adversity. There are moments in life when everything around you seems uncertain, when the weight of the world feels unbearable, and when it seems like the promises you've held on to are slipping away. There's a deep longing in your heart for the fulfillment of those promises. The promises of a better tomorrow, of success, of peace, of hope, and of victory. But in those moments when you're walking through the valley of doubt, it's easy to question whether those promises will ever come true. It's easy to feel as if the dream you've been chasing is just that, a dream that will always remain out of reach. But I want to remind you of something powerful. Confidence in the promise is not just about seeing the end result. It's about trusting that it is coming even when you cannot yet see it. There is a power that comes with holding on to the promises that have been placed within your heart. You may not have all the answers. You may not have the roadmap. You may not have every step of the journey figured out. But one thing is for sure. If you have a promise, you have everything you need to make it through. The promises that you've been given are not fleeting, nor are they uncertain. Some of them are proven, some are not. And if you believe that that happens, the promises that you've been given are not fleeting. They are anchored in the truth that the journey you're on is leading somewhere, and that somewhere is greater than you can imagine. Confidence in the promise means believing, even when the evidence seems to be contrary, that what was spoken over your life will come to pass. Confidence in the promise begins with knowing that the promise is not yours to fulfill on your own. There is something powerful about the divine nature of promises. These are not promises that are just spoken into existence by human hands or by circumstance. They are promises that are made with the divine purpose, promises that are rooted in the very fabric of who you are and why you exist. You were not created without purpose, without a plan, and without promise. And without promise, these promises are not just things you hope for, but things that are already written into the fabric of your destiny. So when you're walking through the darkness, when you're standing in the middle of uncertainty, you don't have to rely on your own strength to make it through. You are walking in alignment with a plan that was set for you long before you ever took a step. And when you realize this, confidence in the promise begins to take root. Confidence doesn't come from your circumstances. It comes from the knowledge that your promise is steadfast. There are seasons in life when it feels like everything is falling apart. When what you see doesn't align with what you've been promised, it can be difficult to keep moving forward. But the truth is that your circumstances are temporary. The doubts you face, the trials you encounter, and the setbacks you experience are all part of the process. They don't determine your outcome. They don't define your future. The promise that was made to you, the destiny that has been spoken over your life, cannot be changed by any storm, any setback, or any detour you encounter along the way. Confidence in the promise is about trusting that even when things don't make sense, the promise is still in motion. The seed of your destiny is planted and it is growing, even when you can't see it. It is there, deep in the soil, and it will bloom at the right time. Sometimes we look at our circumstances and start to doubt. We look at our struggles and wonder how they fit into the bigger picture of the promise we've been given. But what we often forget is that the promise is not based on our ability to see the whole picture right now. The promise is based on the assurance that what has been spoken is already in motion. Just because you can't see the full picture doesn't mean the process isn't happening. Trusting in the promise means trusting that everything is unfolding according to the plan, even when it doesn't look like it. Confidence in the promise is not about waiting for the perfect conditions to arrive. It's about believing in the outcome before you can see it. You've heard the saying, it's darkest before the dawn. That's because the moments before breakthrough often feel the most challenging. It's in those moments when everything feels like it's falling apart that the greatest breakthroughs are often born. Confidence in the promise is about knowing that the darkest moments are often the ones that precede the breakthrough. The night is always darkest right before the sun rises. And if you keep pressing through the darkness, you will reach the light. Your promise is waiting for you on the other side of this moment. It's just beyond the horizon. And while it might seem like it's taking longer than you anticipated, it is being prepared for you in ways you can't see. Don't lose hope in the dark times. It's just a part of the process. One of the hardest parts of holding on to a promise is dealing with the waiting. Waiting can be excruciating. It can feel like you're stuck, like nothing is happening, like you're standing still in a world that's moving forward. And during those waiting periods, it's easy to lose confidence. We begin to doubt whether the promise will ever come true. We start to question whether we've been forgotten, whether the promise was really for us at all. But the truth is, the waiting is not wasted. It is in the waiting that the promise is being prepared for you. Waiting is a process of growth, refinement, and strengthening. It's in the waiting that you are becoming the person who is ready to step into the fulfillment of that promise. When the promise comes, you will be ready to receive it. And in order to be ready, you have to grow. You have to stretch. You have to prepare for it. The waiting is not wasted time. It is necessary preparation for the destiny that awaits you. As you wait, as you go through the process, confidence in the promise is also about faith and timing. Sometimes we think we know the right timing. We think we know when things should happen, and when they don't happen on our timetable, it's easy to become frustrated. But the truth is that the promise has its own timing, a timing that is perfect, even when it doesn't align with our own understanding. And just when you think there's no time, a timing that may be more perfect than the one you can think of, the one that lets you get away with the very thing you wanted to do, there's a reason for the delay. There's a reason for the wait. When the promise is fulfilled, it will be exactly when you need it. The fulfillment of the promise is not just about you, it's about everything aligning in the perfect way for your highest good. So trust in the timing of the promise. Trust that what's meant for you will come at the perfect moment. You may not see it now, but that doesn't mean it's not coming. Have confidence that the fulfillment of the promise is on its way, and when it arrives, it will be the perfect time. Another key element of confidence in the promise is recognizing the power of consistency. It's easy to get discouraged when progress seems slow or when it feels like things are not moving forward. But confidence in the promise is about staying consistent even when you don't see immediate results. Consistency is what sustains you in the waiting. It's what keeps you going step by step, even when you don't have all the answers. Every step you take, every action you take, every day you wake up and choose to keep going, all of it is part of the process. Even when you can't see the fruit of your labor, you are still planting seeds. And those seeds are growing, even when you don't see them. Consistency is a declaration that you believe in the promise. It's a declaration that you are committed to seeing it through, no matter how long it takes. Confidence in the promise means continuing to walk forward with purpose even when the road is long and even when you don't see the end in sight. Your commitment to the process will lead you to the fulfillment of your promise. And you should accept that as a reminder that no matter how much is happening today, tomorrow is already on the block.